Who want a ticket straight to them pearly gates?
Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today we're going to be talking about Heihachi, the Ogre, and the Devil Gene. Now, this topic was suggested by someone who messaged me on Xbox. I'm guessing this person is a subscriber. But me and this person, we were playing online. You know, I was in player match and I randomly bumped into this person. And they were like, hey, I'm a subscriber, love the channel. And then after a few messages, they gave me this really good idea for a video. I'll put the screenshots up so you guys can pause and read it in detail if you would like. Actually, I'll read it. I'll read it because I think it's interesting. It says, I have an obsession with wanting to see Ogre Heihachi. I wish you would do a what if Heihachi got Ogre Gene's video. He's my favorite character and I just hate the thought of him actually dying. I believe if he is killed off, they will bring him back somehow. Tekken just won't be Tekken without him to me. I know people are tired of the Mishima Saga rivalry or whatever, but after Tekken 3 and the idea of Heihachi using Ogre Gene via Devil Gene and splicing is just so interesting. So first I want to stop there on the first half of the first of the three comments. When you talk about Heihachi being in Tekken 8, this person touches on it a little bit, but you have to address the fact Heihachi has been in every single Tekken game. Jin missed out on a few games. Kazuya, if I'm right, I think he missed out on 3 or 4 or 2. I don't know. Kazuya missed out on 1. Heihachi's been in every single game and he's been a key factor in the game, right? Because there's a difference. Yoshimitsu, King, both of those characters also been in every single game. But Tekken, the whole series, the whole Tekken universe haven't revolved around Yoshimitsu and King. They are able to sit in the background and in some games they do nothing at all. But if Heihachi is in the game, he is the main focus, and that's what people don't like, because when you're always focusing on Heihachi, the story never seems to progress. You always get Heihachi, Kazuya, and Jin just punching each other, and we want something more. There was one video I did a month ago where I was talking about the possibilities of Heihachi coming back as Mecha Heihachi, Robo Heihachi, because here's the thing. Heihachi has fallen in a volcano. Not even the chosen one, Anakin Skywalker, can survive lava. So in order for him to survive that, he's going to have to go through either a big transformation or they're going to pull some BS in Tekken 8, right? And one of those transformations I was talking about is, what if one of the Mishima Zaibatsu soldiers or scientists recovers his body and they, put him back together, Mecha Heihachi. There was some jokes being thrown in there saying people were saying put his brain inside of Kuma or put his brain inside of a Jack robot. There was many jokes being thrown around there, but in that whole video where I was talking about Robo Heihachi, everyone, well, I'll read two of the top comments. The most popular comment on that video says, I'm a Heihachi main. I think he should just be a playable character, but not be in story mode. Great channel. This is something that Main Man Sweet was talking about. They may not put Heihachi in the story, but he either will be on the base roster or they will try to sell him to us as DLC. So that's something that everyone is starting to, I guess, repeat. The next comment says, I don't know. I feel Heihachi will make it into Tekken 8. It has never stopped the developers from totally disregarding the lore from previous installments. With that being said, I would love June to make a return because she has been in only one canonical Tekken, and that's crazy. So when we go back to this idea of if they put Heihachi in the game, they have to change him a lot. People were kind of okay with the idea of him being Mecha Heihachi, but we were all still kind of turned away from the idea of Heihachi stealing the spotlight from Jin and Kazuya. Everyone wants Tekken 8 to be about Jin and Kazuya. And if you look at the like to dislike ratio on this video, 13 dislikes, that's about average for my channel. I say crazy things if you guys aren't aware, but everyone was kind of is okay with him being Mecha Heihachi, but they don't want him to take the spotlight. They don't want him to take the story. And let's go back to this comment. It says, like, what if Heihachi has Ogre Gene already and it just hasn't been fully activated? I mean, think about it. He hasn't died after all this time. All those times he should have died, I think the Ogre Gene basically saved him. Never made sense to me how they brought up the idea of Ogre Heihachi and then abandoned it. Now, what is this person talking about? Ogre Heihachi. This person says the devs brought up the idea but abandoned it. Now, in my opinion, they brought up a lot of interesting ideas then abandoned it. You have just Ogre as a whole. I feel like they could have done so much with that. You have Jun Kazama. They could have done so much with that. You have the original Kunimitsu. They could have done so much with that. They are known for bringing up these really cool ideas and then just abandoning it for some garbage. I hate to say it, but that's what they do. But Ogre Heihachi. I took a screenshot of the lore. Tekken 4, it says, though Ogre does not appear, he plays a role in the story. Heihachi's scientists capture a sample of his blood and tissue in order to splice his DNA with Heihachi and make Heihachi immortal. But the experiment fails since Heihachi lacks the necessary devil gene in his blood. That second part, I feel like, why do they always do that? I hate they tried to make Heihachi immortal, but it failed specifically because he did not have the devil gene. You could have just said it failed because it failed. Why do you always have to tie in the devil gene or the Mishima Zaibatsu? I wish they would stop doing that, because that is what makes the story so fake and boring. Just say it failed because it failed, right? But here's the thing. After that, Heihachi started to pursue Jin and Kazuya that much more. So who knows? In Tekken 8 or 9, I really would say this all should happen in 9. But in Tekken 8 or 9, you can have Heihachi be sort of resurrected. Maybe he got some devil. Well, he already has Ogre's blood, but then he gets Devil Gene's blood. Devil Jin and Devil Kazuya, he gets their blood. Combines all of them. And then in a last-ditch effort to resurrect Heihachi, the scientists inject him with a needle full of all that mysterious fluid, and then that is what resurrects Heihachi. Now, me personally, I want to be against that in Tekken 9. If they resurrected Heihachi with Ogre's blood and the devil gene infused in that syringe and they injected that into him, I think that would be crazy to see that. Also, another thing that I thought about is we never really got an ending or an answer to where Ogre comes from. And I think this would be a really cool way to reintroduce Ogre as well. Maybe he now has some sort of physical, spiritual link to the other ogres out there, or maybe the ogre race. Maybe they feel that Ogre's blood is being tampered with, and maybe they send another ogre. Maybe a bunch of them show up. I think there's so much they can do. Really, the possibilities are endless. When you talk about Mecha Heihachi, that is something very, very cool that they can do. When you talk about Ogre Heihachi, Ogre Devil Gene Heihachi, that's also another really brilliant idea that they can do. And then if you just talk about Jun Kazama coming back and her having they have so many like options. It really just comes down to they have to do it, right? When I make these videos and I talk about all these crazy theories, it's because I'm trying to show you guys and also the developers, if they ever watch these videos, the possibilities, right? The possibilities are endless. Even though the story is kind of like bad, they can easily flip the switch and make it top notch like no other. Mecha Heihachi, Ogre Heihachi, Jun Kazama, Jin versus Kazuya. You could bring back Angel. So many possibilities. But something else that I want to read because I think the idea of resurrecting Heihachi using Ogre's blood mixed in with a little bit of Devil Gene's blood, the Devil Gene, I think that's a really fascinating idea. And also, Dr. Bosconovitch kind of went through this same experiment. This is a screenshot taken from Dr. Bosconovitch wiki. It says, now Bosconovitch is infected with a mysterious disease. In order to cure himself and revive his daughter, he needs the blood of the fighting god. He's the only man in the world who knows the truth behind the mysterious fighting god in this tournament. So basically what this is setting up, we see in the ending, Yoshimitsu, well actually he sends Yoshimitsu to eventually get the blood. Yoshimitsu brings him back the blood. They're in the laboratory experimenting, playing around with the, well, I won't say playing around with it, but they're experimenting with the blood. They give it to a rat. Judging by the looks of this rat, this is not a normal rat. Rats aren't white and their eyes are not red. So there are some other things done to this rat. But the rat drinks the blood, literally drinks the blood, and then turns into this huge sort of rabid creature, right? Now, we don't know where Dr. Bosconovitch has been. All these games he sort of is missing. What if he is another person who's been experimenting with the ogre's blood? Because he still has the cure. From what I know, the cure never went away, or the disease never went away. So who knows, maybe he kept on tampering with this ogre's blood. Now the Mishima Zaibatsu, they need someone who mastered ogre's blood, the science behind it, to resurrect him. I really think it would be cool to see Bosconovitch, Heihachi, the Mishima Zaibatsu all sort of rise together, and I think that would be really cool because Yoshimitsu is a good guy, Bosconovitch is a good guy, but to see him sort of turn to the dark side because he's trying to save himself, that would be really cool. Because Yoshimitsu would be like, why did you betray me? Why did you resurrect Heihachi? He's a villain. But maybe Bosconovitch is like, I did this because they had the technology that I needed to save myself, but they would only give it to me if I saved Heihachi as well, right? That's what I'm saying. This story can be super deep. They just have to do it. But I'm on board for Heihachi to return sometime in the future, whether he returns in Tekken 9 in a mecha form, in a robot form, whether he returns in Tekken 9 in a Heihachi Ogre fusion form. I'm on board with both ideas. I think both of them are equally interesting. But the only thing, I don't want him taking over the Tekken 8 story and it being all about him. That's my only thing. But that's it. That's my whole theory idea about the Mecha Heihachi, Ogre Heihachi. I'm really excited to see what they do in Tekken 8 because they have endless possibilities and they just have to do it, Put me in the studio, put me in the Tekken 7 development team, and I'll whip up the greatest Tekken story anyone has ever seen. That's it. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.
I admire your zeal.